And in this one, we've got the NBA Finals that revived a dynasty. Shout out Post 2K8. I enjoyed his last post about the 2019 NBA Finals, the one that essentially ended the dynasty. This one has revived the dynasty. He's going over the 2022 NBA Finals, which is a shame. Oh my gosh. It involved my Boston Celtics, my beloved Boston Celtics, man. And it's like, this finals hurt me to the core, man. For the other side, sorry, like for the Warriors and whatnot, like it was like an exclamation point on their core, right? Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry, you know, on their legacies. Like, it just cemented it, you know. Especially Curry with that Finals MVP. He's been chasing that his entire career. So yeah, it felt like that 2022 Finals was like the exclamation point, the cherry on the cake on their careers, on the Golden State dynasty. But for the Celtics, man, that final hurt me to the core because like Eastern Conference Finals after Eastern Conference Finals after Eastern Conference Finals, so many years of hurt and pain of almost being to the finals. It's like, I still remember, bro, the feeling of when Boston beat Miami in the 2022 Eastern Conference Finals. That feeling is probably the best feeling I've had being a Boston Celtics fan. The only thing that tops it off is the game 5 against the Dallas Mavericks. But it's like the feeling of finally seeing the Celtics get to the finals, you know, was amazing. Just for us to go outside in 2022, and it's like, I genuinely still believe we was the better team in 2022. The Boston Celtics was the better team in the 2022 NBA Finals. We had historical defense. It was the best defense. It was the best defensive team in NBA history. The defense that the Celtics were playing in 2022. Like, that turnaround as well. Hey, everything about that Celtics team squad team was just perfect. Like, I remember the Celtics was like below 500 or literally on 500 in and around All-Star break. Jaylen Brown comes out with a tweet. The energy is about to shift. That, by the way, is one of the most iconic moments in NBA history. A lot of people aren't very fond of Jaylen Brown, but you have to admit that because everything changed from that point onwards. The energy is about to shift. And then Celtics just went on a crazy run. Hey, Brooklyn Nets, round 1. That shit was a fever dream. Because Nets jumped on the sweat toss the year before, so it's like seeing that was insane. But hey, I feel like I'm rambling on in it, but let's just actually start the reaction.
Finals marked a pivotal moment for the NBA. The league had seen a recent surge of rising stars like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown take over, and they felt like their time was now. The Boston Celtics finally broke through to the NBA Finals, and they were poised to grab the torch from the past generation, but their opponent didn't share that sentiment. Against all odds, the Golden State Warriors were back in the NBA Finals, a feat that seemed impossible just 3 years ago. The 2019 Finals had seemingly killed the dynasty. Kevin Durant left in free agency, Klay Thompson was sidelined for an entire season, and Golden State found themselves at the bottom of the NBA standings. The fact that they're here is a miracle.
I'm not gonna lie, that scat top from Stephen Curry was insane.
Ring number 4. The 2022 NBA Finals was a battle.
Yeah, he had to go back. He had to go to that Loka.
Either way,
he had to give that
history was going to be made.
Look, that turned him into a demon. The Loka. Nah, let's actually be honest now.
Revolut, where he can custom.
If we're keeping it a buck, like low cut Steph Curry is low key, is probably a better version than his high top Stephen Curry. Yeah, especially like in the two. Hold on, bro. Never mind.
Lost in the 2019 Finals, Golden State's reign over the NBA looked like it was over. Kevin Durant tore his Achilles in Game 5 of the series and subsequently went to Brooklyn in free agency, and Klay Thompson tore his ACL in Game 6 and was ruled out for the entire 2020 season. It wasn't crazy to think that the dynasty was over, but Curry and Draymond were still healthy, so there was some hope that they could pull something off. And then Steph broke his hand 4 games into the season, and it was wraps. A 6th consecutive Finals appearance was out of the picture. In fact, it was completely out of frame. Golden State finished dead last in the NBA with a 15-50 record, but with the Splash Bros coming back healthy for the 2021 season, a redemption tour was on the horizon. At least it was, until the unthinkable happened. Just a couple weeks out from training camp, Klay Thompson ruptured his right Achilles in a pickup game.
I remember the day I saw this dude because like, how are you? That's so unlucky. Like, 2 seasons in a row, you blow your neck. Achilles injury, was it first one and then second one ACL?
2021 season, carrying the Warriors to the play-in game where they lost to the
Oh my days, no. By the way, yeah, that Celtics Warriors game in TD Garden, I think that was 2021, where Steph Curry hit that crazy 3-pointer shot like that. Yeah, it was like, you know what I'm saying? It was like an overarm. I don't know how to put it into words, but it was crazy. Tatum versus Stephen Curry, that game was an insane, like, duel, like, shit, that game was insane.
And in his
the Warriors was in like the yellow jersey and the Celtics were in like the green and black jersey. If you guys know, that game was insane.
Post-game presser,
I think 44 for Tatum, 47 for Curry, the other way around. Like, that game was insane.
You don't want to see us next year.
The man wasn't playing. Golden State began the 2022 season on fire with an 18-2 record, and this was without Klay. Thompson made his return in January of 2022, and with the rise of another certified sniper, the Warriors were primed for another run. As the 3rd seed in the West, they faced Denver in the MVP in round 1, and they won the series in 5. In round 2, they'd get their rematch from a season ago, and this time, the Warriors bounced the Grizzlies in a thriller of a series. And in the Western Conference Finals, they'd annihilate the Luka-led Dallas squad in 5 to make their return to the NBA Finals. A redemption arc that seemed far-fetched just a few years ago. Golden State is making their 6th Finals appearance in 8 years.
Yeah,
they have one last chapter to their story, or is it time for the next generation to take over?
Time to talk about Boston! Let's go!
After half a decade of disappointments, the Boston Celtics finally broke through to the NBA Finals.
Oh man, that's Miami Heat series. I swear down. You lot don't know. Like, you know when I saw Jimmy Butler, yeah? Game 7, Eastern Conference Finals, Miami versus Boston 2022. When I saw Jimmy Butler in that sheer emotion, I shut up. I'm like, nah, ain't no way this is about to be another loss in the conference finals, bro. I wasn't going to be able to hack it. When I saw Jimmy Butler pull up for that shot, every time stopped, everything stopped. Like, oh my gosh, bro. Celtics versus Miami was war. It was actually war. It was warfare.
Wind the clock back 5
These are the battles we used to have in the East. Like,
years, and the Celtics found themselves in the Eastern Conference Finals against the defending NBA champs, and they got dummied in 5. During the offseason, they made massive moves, trading for Kyrie Irving and drafting a dynamic scoring wing out of Duke, whose name was Jason Tatum, and he began paying dividends right away. With an injury to Kyrie, Tatum led Boston to the Eastern Conference Finals for a rematch against Cleveland. They push it to a Game 7, but lose a heartbreaker. In 2019, the Celtics had high hopes, and they fell flat on their face. They lost to the Bucks in round 2 of the playoffs without reaching much of their potential. 3 months later, Kyrie was gone. The young guns were given the keys.
you guys, I just want to say, get ready to welcome me back to Boston. 3 months later, man. Oh my days, bro. Kyrie, I couldn't believe that shit. But it's all good though, Kyrie's still at top 3.
And they thrived. In 2020, Boston makes another Eastern Conference Finals appearance, but they lose in 6 games to the Miami Heat. And in 2021, they got nailed by injuries, getting gentlemen swept in the first round by the Brooklyn Nets.
Tatum was
Other than
going
this
off in that
outlier
season. He
season,
had a
the
50 point on a
Celtics
3-point
always found
performance.
themselves in contention for a spot in the NBA Finals, and they were well overdue. Can 2022 be the year? Well, for the first 4 months of the season, the answer would be a resounding no. By the end of January, Boston had an underwhelming 26-25 record and were 9th in the East. But then one tweet sparked a fire. On January 31st, Jaylen Brown tweeted that
the energy's about to shift.
And whatever magic this dude...
Life has actually been
the
different since
Celtics
that tweet.
went 24-6, finishing as the 2nd seed in the East, and they were on fire headed into the playoffs. They got revenge on the Kyrie and KD Nets, sweeping them in the first round.
That
Then in
super
round
beautiful.
2, they went to
KD,
war
I've never
against the
seen
defending champion.
I've never seen KD like that in his career, man. Tatum, what Tatum done to KD? I think Tatum is the only person to ever have KD looking that bad. Offense and defense. What he done to KD, both sides of the game, was insane. I've never seen KD like that in his career. I think Tatum is the only matchup, right, that KD has had in his career that he's lost. He's lost.
Milwaukee Bucks, and as they found themselves on the brink of elimination in a game 6
Jason
on the
Tatum,
road,
save your game, legacy
Jason
game.
Tatum went into God mode. The dude erupted for 46 points, including 16 of them in the fourth quarter to force a Game 7.
This game, I swear everything he was putting up was just net. Like no rim, no nothing, no backwood, no nothing. Jason, this is the greatest performance in NBA history. This is the greatest performance in NBA history. This is better than MJ flu game. Tatum game 6 against Milwaukee Bucks. I swear down, bro. Tatum, by the way, Tatum was hitting everything in his game.
Where they blew out the Bucks at home to clinch another appearance in the Eastern Conference.
Like, go into the yard of the reigning defending. I think Giannis was the MVP in this time, or was it Jokic? Or DPOY or something like that, right? Going into the yard, elimination game, lose on your hook, you're going home. Tatum said, fuck that, bro. Tatum said, fuck that. Tatum said, fuck that. Now, that's the greatest individual performance in NBA history.
Finals, where they got rewarded with the first seed Miami Heat. The series was a 7-game bloodbath that saw the Celtics pull out a Game 7 win to clinch a spot in the NBA Finals. Boston finally broke through, just to face a dynasty that is more motivated than ever to prove everybody wrong.
Essentially, the finals was vets versus youngsters or rookies.
Entering Game 1 of an NBA Finals, it's usually a slow feel-out process for both teams to get to know each other, unless your name is Wardell Stephen Curry II.
I don't know, guys, but it's like, the 2022 NBA Finals, yeah? Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a Celtics fan, but it was the last NBA Finals that had that final feel. I didn't have that final feel with the San Antonio Spurs versus Knicks this year. I didn't have it with Denver versus Miami in 2023. Even that 2024, Celtics versus Mavericks, like, I would say, okay, like, the energy, the hype was there for that one, but it still wasn't nothing like the 2022. Now, I would say, I think the 2025 NBA Finals, Indiana Pacers versus OKC was peak. That shit was peak. First Game 7 in how many years? Since almost 10 years, right? Since the Cleveland, this is for you. So it's like, bro, the 2022 Finals, in my opinion, was the last of its kind. That had that final feel. They lost Game 1, no? Celtics won Game 1, no?
Steph went absolutely ballistic in the first quarter, scoring 21 points and knocking down 6 threes, the most in any finals quarter ever. The Warriors carried the momentum from Curry's explosion into the second half, as they found themselves up 15.
Did the Celtics not win this one?
But Boston wasn't going to go down so easily.
I remember
They
Celtics winning Game 1.
out of the hole and got within 4 with 6 minutes to go, and then they turned on the burners.
Yes.
The Celtics went on a blistering 20-2 run, splashing home shot after shot after shot, and in the blink of an eye, the game was over. Boston shocks the Warriors and steal Game 1. In Game 2, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum came out on fire, looking to take a commanding 2-0 series lead. JT cooked up 21 in the first half, and JB tagged on 15. But come the second half, Steph put an end to that. He scored 13 in the third quarter,
Warriors went insane in
including
the
a
third
highlight
quarter.
reel 3 that made Al Horford play Twister on the court, following it up with a deep 3, and then He tagged in the splash homie. Poole knocks down a long-range triple, and then he does this.
Yeah, I remember this, man. Oh my days.
He drills a half-court buzzer beater to give the Warriors a 23-point lead. Golden State blows out the C's by 19, and they're right back in the series.
Yeah, Celtics take control of Game 3, innit? I remember.
In Game 3, the Celtics were back on their home court, and Jaylen Brown was on demon time.
Screen all over, Brown drives inside. Oh, beautiful back 6 on the 24 Brown. Long three-pointer. That's good. Jaylen Brown is...
A 17-point masterclass by Brown gave Boston all the energy they needed, carrying them to a 12-point lead.
How? Why do Celtics fans out there want us to trade Jaylen Brown? How? Why? I don't understand. You know, I don't think Giannis is going to be much of an upgrade than what you guys actually think. It's like, with trades in NBA, I think folks just think of matching the biggest names together. That never works. Or, I don't say it never works, but it rarely works, you know. It's rarely as successful as you guys think it does, or think it is. It's like, man, how many times have we seen it? Like, Houston thought it was going to be a big, they thought they had a big idea bringing KD. And look how they ended, bro. You know, look at the Brooklyn Nets situation. Look at Phoenix Suns with Devin Booker, KD. Like, we see it so many times in the league where teams try and match the biggest names together. It don't work, man. I'm telling you. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, this proof is in the pudding, essentially. They're a successful duo. It's a successful formula. It's a championship winning formula. You know, why would we want to risk that to get a formula that might not work? Like, yeah, cool, Giannis, you know, the big name signing, innit? Giannis is a big name signing, big name trade, you know, blockbuster trade and whatnot. That'll be cool for merchandising reasons. And, bro, I don't know. I just don't see it, man. I don't think it's as good as you lot or people are playing it out to be, man. Me personally, I'd rather keep Brown and Tatum. Me personally, man. Yeah, I don't know.
Halftime, but in the third quarter, Curry was starting to reel them back in. He knocks down back-to-back triples to get the Warriors within 9. And then, the impossible happens. Steph sprints down and pulls up for a deep 3, plus the foul. Upon review, Al Horford is given a flagrant foul for stepping under Curry's foot, which gets him the free throw and gives the Warriors possession. One in which Otto Porter Jr. launches a moonshot that splashes home to get the Warriors within 2. One single possession, 7 points for Golden State. It was insane, but Boston wasn't fazed. They kept the lead throughout the second half and walked away with the win. The Celtics' trio showed out, combining for 77 points in a crucial Game 3 win to take control of the series
I'm gonna say something
and go up 2-1. Game 4 was no question the most pivotal game of the series. The Celtics are at home with a golden opportunity to go up 3-1. The Warriors are
if the Celtics would have won that game,
that,
especially at home, it would have been done.
So much more was at stake.
We would be talking about
this was Steph Curry's chance to solidify himself among the all-time greats. With his back against the wall and what is likely his last opportunity at a championship, he can change the momentum of this series, prove to any doubter that he can carry a team to success, and seize the moment that can define his entire career. And simply stating that he delivered would be an understatement.
Curry, not a long distance shot. It's good. Steph Curry closes out.
Curry was insane, man.
Curry gets free. Gets some contact. Gotta get one. Steph Curry pulls up Tatum.
You know, I actually have a take. I think locked in Steph Curry is the scariest player in NBA. He's more scary than Kobe, LeBron, heck, even Michael Jordan, bro. And I think, yeah, the reason, or the game, or not even just the game, what put like the nail in the coffin on that point, what made me, you know, stand on that point, yeah, stand on business with that point was the Olympics, man. I think those 2 games against Serbia and France, but it's like, yo, like, this guy's really a one of one, man. Everything I've seen of the guy, I was thinking of that statement, like, yo, a locked in Steph Curry is the greatest player in NBA history, right? It's the most scariest player in NBA history, but the Olympics, bro, actually certified it, man. It just certified it for me, man. Like, what he done to Wembanyama, right, and France in that finals, bro, was insane. Those 2 games was probably the 2 best runs I've ever seen of any player on the Olympic stage.
It's good. Steph Curry with a two. Curry. It's good. Steph Curry from downtown. Maybe some second shots. Curry again. Oh, Steph Curry from way downtown. Williams on him. Looking unloaded. Flips it up. Shot is good. Back to Curry. Step back. Three-pointer. Steph Curry drills the break. That's a 6-point Warriors lead. Timeout Boston.
It was a legacy-defining performance. Simple as that. 43, 10, and 4 with 7 3-pointers. The dude put up one of the greatest finals performances in league history with everything on the line. In a nail-biter of a game, he was making tough shot after tough shot after tough shot, capped off with a dagger in Derek White's face to seal the game and tie the series at 2. It goes without saying that there was a lot at stake in Game 5, especially when you take into account that the winner of a Game 5 when the series is tied at 2 in the NBA Finals goes on to win the title 73% of the time. This game was huge, and the supporting cast showed up for Golden State.
Yeah, Andrew Wiggins.
Andrew Wiggins went crazy for 26, 13, and 2, and Klay added 21 points in a game that was exactly 3 years to the day after he tore his ACL. Despite these performances, the game stayed tight thanks to Jason Tatum's 27-point double-double in what is his most impactful game of the series.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I know Tatum struggled in the first 2 games, but they actually made this 2022 Tatum performance sound like it was the worst finals performance in NBA history. He was bad with the turnovers in Game 1 again, but that's when I know the hate on Tatum was OD. Like, they made it sound like Tatum had the worst NBA finals performance in history. It wasn't the case. When you actually like look at their performance, maybe like I don't know. But I don't think it was as bad as people paint it out to be.
His second long-range buzzer beater of the series put the Warriors up 1 headed into the fourth quarter.
But this guy was the Peyton Pritchard.
To the finish line.
This guy was
Wiggins throws
what
down
Peyton
a
Pritchard is for
massive
us.
hammer
Yeah.
dunk to seal the game.
Who are you man taking? Yeah, 2024 Peyton Pritchard or 2022 Jordan Poole? Because both of these motherfuckers were insane with the deep shots and the clutch shots, the buzzer beaters and whatnot. Bro, Peyton Pritchard was hitting them buzzer beater half-court shots like they were flipping free throws, man. But Jordan Poole was
Golden
nice.
State wins
Well,
by
man.
10, and they're just one win away from redemption. Game 6 was do or die for the Celtics, but for the Warriors, this was their chance to cement their dynasty as one of the greatest ever with their 4th championship in 8 years. But they might have to put it on hold because the Young Guns came out with a purpose. Just 3 minutes in, the Celtics went up 12-2, and they seemed poised to run away with the game. However, Golden State was on the verge of an explosion. From the 2:30 mark of the first quarter to the 10:13 mark of the second, the Warriors went on a 21-0 run. From Draymond hitting threes to lockdown defense to transition offense, Golden State was cooking in every facet of the game, taking a 15-point lead into halftime.
Bro.
In the third quarter, Boston did everything to try to get themselves back in the game. More specifically, Al Horford did, scoring 12 points.
Nah,
3
Al Horford
threes,
was clutching this
snagging
run.
down
I
6
remember his
rebounds.
performances against
He was doing it
Giannis.
all to keep his team alive.
In the
But
Milwaukee
Steph
series.
wasn't going to let that
But him
happen.
and Giannis were going at it.
So far, Curry sidestep, wide open three. Got it. Curry sidestep, three-pointer. It's good. Draymond Green pushing. 6 assists for Green. Curry along. It's good. Steph Curry from way downtown. So Curry chaos here in the third. It's the largest lead of the game.
This man had the audacity to pull up from 28 feet, drain the three, and then point at his finger, telling the crowd to ring him with 6 minutes to go
Yeah,
in
I
the
remember
third
that
quarter.
still.
It's completely outrageous.
Do you lot remember the Curry sway?
That's
No, but Curry sway was going crazy in 2022, man.
Put the Warriors up 22, but Boston was still chasing. Jaylen Brown scored 10 points in the third to get the Celtics within 10
Jaylen Brown was
headed into the
fighting
fourth quarter.
in this one.
But once again, Steph answered. He kept firing with a 13-point fourth quarter that ripped the heart out of the Celtics. And with just a few minutes to go and the championship within reach, Curry launched one more three to silence anyone who ever doubted him.
Curry has it. Fakes. Fires. Three-pointer. Thompson running the floor. And a foul. And Thompson grabs his left knee. Now writhing in pain. Steph Curry slamming the ball on the court, so upset. There's a new NBA champion, and it's a team from Toronto, Canada.
Is Golden State's dynasty done?
Yes, it is. It's over for them, man. We will never see Steph in another NBA Finals, ever.
I don't see the Golden State Warriors bringing home another championship.
So Curry was funny for that one, you know. I remember when that, you know, they exchange happened with Perkins and ESPN and Curry. Draymond as well was chipping in with some thoughts and opinions.
The Dubs dynasty is still very much alive.
You don't want to see us next year.
He wasn't lying. That was aura. That's I have to give aura for Steph, you know. Steph and the Warriors for that one. You have to give, yeah. They backed up the talking. That's the experience of the vets, man. It was essentially 2022 finals was the vets versus the rookies, man, you know. But yeah.